You hold power over your thoughts, not over outside circumstances. Understand this, and you will uncover strength. Life was never designed to be easy. No matter how hard you work or how disciplined you are, reality finds ways to push you. People disappoint, plans collapse, dreams vanish, and the world often feels like chaos. But within that storm, there exists a philosophy that doesn't deny life's hardships but teaches you how to rise above them: Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, often remembered as the philosopher-emperor, ruled an empire where he could indulge in every desire, but instead, he chose to reflect on discipline, fairness, humility, and self-mastery. His writings weren't for the public, they were reminders to himself, survival notes that still echo through time. Because the struggles of being human haven't changed. This passage explores 10 sharp principles from Marcus Aurelius's Stoic wisdom, truths that can change how you think, react, and live. Each idea cuts to the bone, unfiltered, to help you forge mental clarity that nothing can shake. 1. Refine your perception. Decide not to be wronged, and you will not feel wronged. The biggest prison isn't the world, it's the way we interpret it. We label every moment as good or bad, and those labels dictate how we suffer. A dull meeting feels like punishment, rejection feels like the end, and waiting in traffic feels like torture. Yet the event itself is neutral, our judgment gives it power. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that harm lives in opinion. If you stop naming things as disasters, they lose their sting. A breakup is no longer destruction, it becomes transformation. A challenge at work is not punishment, it's your training ground. Change your perception, and you change your life. 2. Restrain emotional impulses. Abandon selfishness, falsehood, and irritability. Emotions can guide us, but when unrestrained, they enslave us. Anger eats its host before it reaches its target. Fear traps us before failure ever arrives. Envy blinds us from our own progress. Stoicism doesn't demand we bury emotions, it teaches us to redirect them. Anger can push you to solve a problem instead of escalate it. Fear can prepare you instead of paralyze you. Control doesn't mean being cold, it means making your emotions work for you, not against you. 3. Understand control. Your power lies in your thoughts, not in external happenings. One of Stoicism's sharpest truths: split life into what's in your control and what isn't. Weather, gossip, rejections, they're outside your reach. Your actions, your mindset, your words completely within your hands. We suffer most when we try to command what isn't ours. We find freedom when we take charge of what is. Love your fate, Marcus advised. Not passively, but fully accepting what arrives, whether bitter or sweet. If you fall, learn. If you're denied, move forward. If you succeed, stay grounded. Obstacles aren't dead ends, they're openings. 4. Live by virtue. Search within. Inside is the source of goodness. Pleasure, money, status, they tempt but don't fulfill. The Stoics placed virtue above them all. To live guided by wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control is to live in alignment with reality. The question isn't what happens to you, but how you answer it. Wisdom gives clarity. Justice makes you fair. Courage pushes you forward despite fear. Self-control protects you from excess. Together, they anchor you when life tries to throw you off course. 5. Zoom out for perspective. See the world as though looking down from above. Our problems feel overwhelming until we step back. A harsh boss, a missed chance, an exam failure viewed against the scale of history, they're dust. The Stoic exercise of the view from above shows us we're small pieces in an endless universe. Our troubles aren't as large as they appear. From that higher view, problems shrink. Options appear. And you realize that most worries will be meaningless within a few years or even days. 6. Turn setbacks into strength. The barrier to action advances action. What blocks the path becomes the path. Every challenge carries within it an invitation to grow. The difficult teammate trains your patience. A rejection sharpens your resilience. A failure forces you to adapt. Obstacles aren't walls, they're teachers. Instead of asking, "Why me?" Stoicism urges, "How can this shape me?" With that shift, setbacks stop being curses and start becoming stepping stones. 7. Practice self-mastery. If it is not right, don't do it. If it is not true, don't say it. Real freedom comes from discipline. Without it, you become a slave to cravings, whether food, greed, laziness, or lust. Surrounded by luxury, Marcus still wrote about moderation. Because indulgence weakens character. Restraint strengthens it. Self-discipline isn't punishment, it's command. It's choosing purpose over impulse, the long-term path over the short thrill. It's saying no to comfort so you can say yes to growth. 8. Embrace mortality. You could leave this life right now. Let that guide what you do and say. Death is not a threat, it's the most honest reminder. Keeping mortality in mind strips away illusions. Grudges lose weight. Wasted time stings deeper. Suddenly, urgency replaces procrastination. Life feels sharper when you remember it isn't endless. To Marcus, thinking of death wasn't morbid, it was freeing. It pushes us to live real, love fiercely, and act bravely. 9. Work for the whole. What harms the hive, harms the bee. Selfishness isolates. Contribution connects. You are part of a larger whole: family, community, humanity. Stoicism teaches that your duty extends beyond yourself. Living only for yourself leaves you empty. Serving others ties you to something lasting. When you act justly, you strengthen the fabric of society. When you give, you grow. Lasting fulfillment comes not from hoarding but from helping. 10. Reflect every day. Stop wasting time debating what a good person should be. Become one. Marcus's meditations weren't meant for others, they were his private reflections. He wrote to test himself, to improve, to stay on track. Reflection is the Stoic's daily tool. It forces you to face your weaknesses, note progress, and reset. Journaling isn't about nostalgia, it's about accountability. It cultivates self-awareness. And self-awareness is the foundation of all growth. Final note: life is unstable. It will challenge, break, and rebuild you, often in ways you didn't choose. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his thoughts from comfort. He wrote them while facing war, betrayal, disease, and the crushing duties of power. His philosophy wasn't theory, it was survival. The Stoic way isn't about being untouched by struggle. It's about facing it with clarity. It's not about being unfeeling. It's about mastering emotions so they serve you. It's not about controlling the world. It's about commanding yourself. The world will always test you. But Stoicism teaches you to stop being fragile. The block becomes the way. The hardship becomes the teacher. The fire forges the soul.